13 February 2021, and I'm joined by Mr. Khalifani Pugeni, spokesman for Dr. Thokozani Khuphe, Vice President of the MDC-T. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, Kambakwe, and the listeners, wherever they may be?
Okay, fantastic. I understand that you just recovered from COVID. How are you feeling now?
No, I'm feeling extremely well. And yeah, I just want to say to Zimbabweans, COVID is real. COVID kills. But in my experience, what I've learned is that what kills us more than COVID is what the medical fraternity calls it panic attack. So you hear that you have COVID, you learn of other people's experiences, which may not necessarily be your experience, and they wear you down emotionally to a point of breaking down. In my case, I had a mild attack. I was due to come here in South Africa, about 2 weeks ago. We were meant to meet. And then when I went to get my COVID results, which was now really something of a ceremony because I always get these things. So I was so positive that I'm negative. So when I get there, they give me my results, but this time they tell me to go and see a sister. And the sister was seated there. She was the one who had taken the test yesterday. And I'm thinking, well, it's just a social chat considering my status. And the sister says, unfortunately, you can't go. I'm like, what do you mean I can't go? She says, you are positive. I'm like, no, I'm not positive. She says, yeah, you are positive. I left there very disappointed. There were family people that I could not right away tell this news until certain days had passed. At least they could see that I'm out of danger and they are also out of danger, So yeah, that was the issue. But every now and then, what I found extremely killing inside was the thought that I may wake up with a changed condition. So you find that I'll go to sleep weighed down with the thoughts of, what if the next time I wake up, I'm in an ICU? What if I don't even wake up? So what I found very helpful was I have a friend who's in the medical fraternity. So she was able to kind of like say to me, okay, hold on. Because sometimes I'll feel false attacks. I'll feel like my chest is tightening when really there was nothing happening. And then she'll be like, okay, tell me, did you eat? Yes. How big? I've ate everything on the plate. Okay. Did you cough? No. Did you have a temperature? No. And then she's like, no, that's just your mind playing with you. So that's another thing that I really realized, that you need, number one, you need loving people around you. Number two, you need people that know what they are dealing with to at least advise you. But the most important thing which worked for me was stay away from a stressful environment and a toxic environment. So you will appreciate that I haven't attended any meetings because first 2 weeks it was Dr. Khuphe and we were praying. And when you're praying, you don't want to be in a contested environment and extremely toxic. And then when she was out of it, I then fell sick. So then I just decided I'm not attending anything. I'm not looking at this. I'm just going to ignore everything. And that helped me because a stressful environment, it compromises your immunity. And once your immunity is compromised, COVID will take you down.
Okay, I'm so happy that you are feeling well, and I hope to see you very, very soon. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to ask you a stressful question. And I think this is necessary because everyone is confused. After the extraordinary Congress, there has been silence from yourself, and you understand why. Are you able to give us an update now of what is the current situation? Is Dr. Khuphe accepting the vice president of the MDC-T?
Okay, I want to read you something which I had for my devotion today. As you know, it was the Sabbath of the Lord from yesterday sunset until today sunset. So I had something for my devotion and I want to read it for you. It's one of the most celebrated women in America. She is listed as the all-time top 100 most influential Americans. And this is what she writes in a book called The Early Writings, and the title is The Trial of Christ. And this is what she says: Satan and his angels were busy in the judgment hall to destroy human feelings and sympathy. The very atmosphere was heavy and polluted by their influence, the influence of Satan and his angels. The chief priests and the elders were inspired by them. They were inspired by Satan and his angels to insult, abuse Jesus in the manner the most difficult for human nature to bear. Satan hoped that such mockery and violence would call forth from the Son of God some complaint or murmur, or that he would manifest his divine power and wreak himself from the grasp of the multitude, and that thus the plan of salvation might at last fail. The point I want to make to you is that what I'm very much worried about, and I've been trying to impress upon Dr. Khuphe, is that she has done extremely well. And the opposition that she's facing is largely because of what she stands for and who she is and what she wants to do for the people of Zimbabwe. And I wanted her to understand that some of these things have a spiritual nature in it. You've got evil spirits and the devil himself inspiring much of the things that he has gone through. Because I think you will agree with me that no human being can treat another human being in the manner Dr. Khuphe was treated. You may differ with her, but there's no reason of slapping her. There is no reason to call her hure. There is no reason to denigrate her and basically disregard her dignity and her human rights. So you will agree with me there. And it tells me that much of that, if not all of it, was informed by Satan and his evil angels in a bid to frustrate the righteous work which Dr. Khuphe is involved in emancipating the people of Zimbabwe and making sure that everyone has a decent life and decent livelihood. And that has been fraught each and every way. I'm about to answer you now. Now, you would have also realized that since that Congress, there's been an effort to demonize anyone who is close to her. At some stage, there were reported threats that those who associate with her are dividing the party, trying to scandalize her, portray her as a loser, portray her as someone who's pariah, who's not supposed to be associated with. And I recognize that. And I quickly put her as my status to send a message to say, if associating with Dr. Khuphe is dividing the party, then I am dividing the party. Because social democracy, which a lot of people don't understand, and MDC says they're a social democratic party. Social democracy identifies certain groups of people that demand our solidarity. In fact, we have to give them our solidarity if we call ourselves that. And Dr. Khuphe falls amongst those groups of people. So this is how I'll answer you, Kambaku. The question which you have asked me, it's extremely irritating, it's extremely provocative, and patronizing to a certain degree, and condescending. I know it's not you who's asking it personally. As you've already said, a lot of people and whatever, and I'm saying it's condescending, patronizing, and extremely annoying. And accordingly, we won't dignify it with an answer.
Okay. So we have seen the United States MDC-T chairman coming out and writing a statement to say they do not recognize Senator Douglas Mwonzora as the new president of the MDC-T. Are you going to answer that part?
I'm saying to you, I recognize the right of MDC, South African American to express themselves freely and open on the issues looked at the pictures emanating from the 27th of December 2020, and they are worried. They also want you to recognize that the leadership of the MDC-T itself said it is open for criticism and if needs be to be taken to court. And I think that is what the MDC United States of America is responding to. I don't want to interject myself into that whole discussion for obvious reasons. I think people must just look at the footage and look at what is being said by myself, by everyone else involved in this whole thing, and come to their own conclusion. What I don't want to do is to begin to comment on issues that have nothing to do with deepening this democracy that we're building, and start to comment just to satisfy people's curiosities. And it's really an exercise in futility, which I have no desire in engaging in.
Okay. So let me, we're having a lot of network issues. So I hope that you are hearing me. Let me rephrase. So as we speak, Dr. Khuphe is the vice president of the MDC-T. She has not challenged that position that she's the vice president.
No, look, I think you can ask this question whichever way you want it, but I'm telling you that that question, we recognize it for its patronizing nature. Accordingly, we don't want to entertain it.
But you can either be the vice president or not. You can't be both.
Sorry?
You can either be the vice president of the MDC-T or not. It can't be in between.
Yeah, but I never offered any commentary on your position. And I told you why, because I think that inquiry is not sincere. That inquiry is offensive. That inquiry seeks to make a mockery of a very delicate situation. I read today, and for this reason, to appreciate that I don't want to entertain some of the things which are evil, barbaric, and then that by and large may be Satan and his evil angels.
Okay. What do you say about the appointment of two vice presidents?
The same thing. It's an inquiry that is not informed by people who are confused and are seeking clarity. It's an inquiry that is informed by people who are lazy or who are hypocrites. They want to pretend as if they have this amnesia, because you know that we were in court and the Supreme Court pronounced itself on all of those matters. So I do not believe in being a prodigal with the time and that me and you have. I'm a different man, Kambakwe. I've experienced two very consequential challenges in my life in the last 4 months. And I have a view of life altogether. You will not believe this, that when I was going through court, as much as I didn't have physical pain, the emotional trauma when you hear that so and so was okay yesterday, but today he is dead, I started drafting my will and re-looking at it and beginning to rearrange my life. That's how ready I was to depart. So you will understand that I have no time for trivial issues. I have no time to entertain, as I said, people's curiosities that really lead to nowhere. I really have no time for that.
Okay, but don't you think then Dr. Khuphe needs to come out and express herself on the current situation? She cannot support the Supreme Court ruling and then keep quiet when an appointment is made where she's the second vice president.
No, that is what I'm saying to you. I'm saying, maybe let me put it this way. I think there is an appropriate platform where an engagement can be made, but I won't come to the public to engage on a discussion that is common cause, which I know that the public has taken judicial notice of. And what they are going to do with it, it's their choice. And I'm saying I really shouldn't be made to engage on these matters. I have no interest. I am happy that the United States of America has an interest in it. They want to express themselves. Good for them. That's what MDC-T is all about. So let people talk, let people engage themselves. But I don't think right now Dr. Khuphe's views are the missing link. If you recall that judgment, it did not say go back and consult Dr. Khuphe and see what she thinks and how she feels and then carry out that. It said go back, honor your constitution, and fulfill the values and principles of social democracy which you publicly profess to be. So what you need to do is to go and consult Google and find out what social democracy means, and then look at everything that is happening and answer yourself if that is what happened. Dr. Khuphe doesn't even feature here. She was never the reference point. The reference point was the constitution of the MDC-T and their professed publicly so political philosophy.
Okay. What about the stolen funds? There is an allegation that there's money which was stolen, 6 million. Is Dr. Khuphe just going to leave that and not address it?
I don't think that Dr. Khuphe needs to running comment on everything that people say or everything that happens. She has laid down a foundation, and the people of Zimbabwe must be able to make a judgment on what happened, what should happen, and what is their role.
Okay, then the final question. Does Dr. Khuphe recognize Senator Douglas Mwonzora as the president of the MDC-T?
Yeah, but that's the same question that I said. It's patronizing, it's extremely offensive, and we're not going to dignify it with an answer. It's the same question. It doesn't even arise. You see, it doesn't arise, and so we are not even going to dignify it with an answer. No, we are not going to. If people are curious about whatever, they must find someone who's going to tickle their fancy. We're not going to be those people.
Okay, I understand you completely, and you're within your rights not to answer the question. So I think let us wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
I want to thank you for the opportunity of engaging with you and the wider community, wherever they are in the world. I want to say the whole reason why I came to your show today was to talk about COVID and lend myself to anyone, whether it's a family member of someone suffering COVID or it's someone who's going through COVID. You always put my number there. I hope you will. You can call me really anytime. I'm here to help you and walk through with you, not things medical. I'm not a medical doctor, but like I told you, what I've realized is that most of us suffer emotionally. And when you suffer emotionally, it affects your immunity, and then the other things pick up there. So I'm here, and yes, if it's a medical question, I'll link you up to my medical people that helped me, especially the first 10 days, because you know they're saying day 5 to day 10 is a worrisome period. I was reading about it, that a very fit doctor in the United States of America, I think it's day 5 or day 7, it just collapsed. You know, so all those things, they begin to work in your mind, but we are here to help each other. Mask up, social distance, wash your hands. Do not, if there's a lockdown like this, it's because they are trying to mitigate something. Don't be involved in unnecessary social interaction. It helps to be remote like me and you are doing.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kalipani Pugeni, spokesman for the MDC-T Vice President, Dr. Thokozani Khuphe. Thank you very much, and we'll talk again very, very soon.
Thank you, Kamba.